opinions stated in this podcast do not reflect the opinions of the Alestle or SIUE as a whole. Welcome back to another episode of Alestle After Hours. I'm your host, Sam Muren. Welcome back to the fall semester. This is our very first episode back, and we have an exciting episode. Oh, I can't wait. But joining me today, I have two very special guests from the Alestle. We have Editor-in-Chief Dylan Hembrough, and we also have our brand new copy editor, Destiny Albrecht. So, welcome, guys. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Destiny, congratulations.
Thank
Welcome.
you.
Are you excited?
Yes, very much so.
Any nerves?
Yeah, lots.
Don't worry, I'll make you sound great in post. That's the
Thanks.
best part about edited podcasts. You can say the silliest things that no one will know.
Yeah, he's not scary on air.
No. Off fair, though. No, just
Yeah,
kidding.
as soon as we hit the stop button.
Yeah, stay away from me. No, I'm
Yeah.
But no, I'm so excited. And I found out that you're a big Swiftie fan.
Yes.
So a little foreshadowing here. That is part of the conversation. So stick around for Destiny's amazing opinions. But first, we have to talk about the boring, not the boring stuff. We have to talk about the newsworthy stuff. And that is featured in this week's edition, which came out on Thursday. Obviously, if you're listening to this, it's Saturday. Not for us, but for you, the listener, it is. Let's reflect a little bit. We had a lot of news. A lot of news this week, right, Dylan?
Yeah, we had a lot of news. I wrote a lot of it.
Yeah. You know what? This is the most stories I've written in a long time, and that's really saying something.
The one, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I wrote, I think, 6 stories, including the brief that I just wrote. First one, we're going to start with the OSHA violation. That one, there was basically water coming out of an electrical box in the muck basement. And, that is a fire hazard and also a potential electrical shock hazard to anyone working down there. And there are people that work down there. So the problem has been fixed by SIUE, at least for now. Part of the issue with the employee I spoke to who wished to remain anonymous, as well as union president Amy Bodenstab, who I feel like has been kind of a recurring feature in our coverage lately. Part of their issue is that these problems have been addressed before and fixed, but those fixes weren't sufficient or adequate or whatever, and they ended up becoming problems again. So there's a whole lot on there. There's a salary sweep update. University is still doing salary sweeps, just like they did in January 2023 and every month since. We, so far, have been unable to get really any information on the appeals process. And what that means is money that has been swept or taken from a department and returned centrally, quote unquote, is the verbiage that admin likes to use. That money can be appealed and possibly given back to the department. Only money that was swept after January 1st, 2025. So the $15.1 million-ish that were swept in the 2 years of the beginning of the salary sweeps, that's all off the table. And we've been asking since March, April-ish, why? And we've just gotten no comment. And so that's been really frustrating as a journalist and also as somebody who just genuinely just wants answers about this kind of stuff. So that's kind of the core of that story, is that we've been trying to get these answers. We are unable to get a lot of these answers, at least straight from the horse's mouth. So any answers we do have are really via FOIA, Freedom of Information Act. So that lets us access public records via state laws and all that. Very cool tool.
Destiny, let's break this in a little bit. So this is your first week officially working for the paper, correct?
Yes.
And you are a copy editor. For those that don't know or aren't familiar, copy editors usually, when a story comes in by a reporter or an editor, the copy editor reads through the story. They're checking for accuracy, legitimacy of the story, also like grammar, spelling, all that jazz, and journalistic structure. But we just threw you into the fire, Destiny. We just said, you're so awesome. You're going to have to take some stories. And you did. I believe you had a Cougar Common Ground, and then also you did a Metro East Markets. Tell me, what was it like writing for the Alestle for the first time?
So my interview process was kind of hard because the 1989 Society was formed last year, and the student that formed it, she ended up transferring, and they never did anything with it. It's technically still an organization at the school and being recognized, and they could possibly get funds and stuff, and it's all good and set to go, but they've never met and they've never done anything with it. And I texted Chloe and I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Like, I don't really know how I'm supposed to, like, write about it, really, if they've never had an event or anything. And she's like, I guess just try and, like, figure out what their goals are for it. And, yeah, it turns out they're in need of a president. And I talked to Ben Cole. He's a, like, organization officer, basically, and then the advisor of the club. But no one from the club would answer me or anything. So that was rough.
Welcome to journalism.
Yeah.
I think this is a good peek behind the scenes of the interplay and how much we all rely on each other. Like, you know, stories fall through. This could have been a story that fell through easily, but Chloe was able to give her some recommendations for sources, and it saved the story.
Yeah, so...
And it ended up being a good story, too, I think.
Thank you.
You got like, thrown into the weeds.
Yeah. I was like, oh my gosh, of course I'm getting this for my first story, but...
It's common.
Yeah.
Don't sweat it. You'll rock out a real good one here eventually.
Yeah.
So, but you also wrote a Metro East Markets, which that's a little more fun, right?
Yeah, that was fun. I went with my boyfriend to the, like, cafe, and it was just, like, a really nice, like, date, basically.
Yeah,
and, like,
yeah.
nice little spot and stuff.
But you're also a critic.
Yeah.
Judging
Yeah.
the establishment as harshly as you can. No, I'm kidding. But no, that's really good fun. How was the copy editing side? Was it what you expected or?
Yeah, I would say I've had, like, kind of, like, Dylan hypes me up about it, but I felt like I've had a lot of trouble with AP style. But I love doing grammar. That's a weird thing to say, but I love it.
No, me too, girl. I mean, not the grammar part, but the AP style part. Yeah, I don't like it either. You're miles ahead. I heard raving reviews.
Your hiring test said otherwise, but whatever. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, I've since, like, freshman year of high school, I've always loved, like, grammar and making sentences sound better. And yeah, I feel like it was, I don't want to say easy, but it was, like, not hard.
Yeah.
It comes naturally.
Yeah.
No, it was easy. Go ahead. You can say it.
Yeah.
Own it.
Okay, it was easy.
There we go. We got it out of her. Well, before we go back to Dylan's stories, yours truly, the podcast producer, got a story turned in this week. Should have an applause like sound.
I was
effect.
gonna say, can we have the clap track?
Yeah, we'll add that in post. But no, my story was really interesting. It was about SIUE's like reaccreditation, and so this happened like they announced it in July. The actual HLC people, the Higher Learning Commission, they came in at the end of the semester, kind of last year. But I got to interview SIUE's coordinator for accreditation. It was really fascinating. She like broke down the process for me. You know, it was really interesting. So that was a good read if you're got the paper in hand, like maybe give it a check out. Dylan, you still had some more stories to talk about.
Yeah, sorry, you guys gotta listen to my scratchy voice again. So Senate Scoop, it's back. The Senate is back. They had their first meeting of this 2025 to 26 academic year, and it was surprisingly short. They hit it out of the park, especially for a first meeting. It was good. They were quick. They were efficient. They had good discussion in there too. One of the pitfalls of student government is sometimes in some administrations, it seems like it's just kind of a rubber stamp thing. It's like, all right, we've got all these clubs. We got to just get them through, get this meeting done so we can all go home and sleep or whatever.
Real.
And, whatever senators do. And I was expecting more of that, to be honest. Like, that's just how it has been. And last year, I'd say we saw a little bit of that debate start to flare up. And that was good. I enjoyed that. Made for more fun writing, to be honest. But I didn't know what to expect going into the first year, especially with the first meeting. And there was some good debate. There were a lot of questions. There was nothing controversial, but it was just a lot of questions. Like, the people that are in here currently, it seems like they have, at least right now, a genuine interest in knowing what it is they're voting for, which is a good thing, I think, at least. So there was a lot of good debate. They had their longtime financial officer, Olivia Davila, step down over the summer. I'm not sure why, but a replacement was found for her named Mads Labat. And she was new to student government, as far as I know, had never been involved in it, but she had some budgeting experience with a sorority that she's part of. And they kind of grilled her, to be honest, but it was good. I was like, this is like what I like to see from a student government. I'm excited about this year. I love covering them. Fortunately, they're never during my classes. Senator Nick Young is back as well as a non-traditional student senator. He did a lot of work last year. On kind of a more somber note, we received news literally like 2 hours ago as of this recording that Ralph Cordy has passed away.
Yeah, on Tuesday.
Yeah, he was the namesake of Ralph Cordy Stadium, which is where soccer is played on SIUE. That stadium in particular was built in 1994, or finished in 1994, and it was first used for the U.S. Olympic Festival.
Wow.
That's quite an inaugural
Yeah, usage.
ceremony. Yeah. So it's like this premier facility, 4,000 seats, I think. I believe for the Olympic Festival, it had 11,000 visitors, which was its all-time high. That was named after him. He actually really didn't have as much to do in terms of construction. What he's famous for is his construction company, the Cordy Company. He was born... Now, I say this, am a recent Ralph Cordy expert, as of 2 hours ago. But he was born in a family of 14 children in Highland, which isn't that far from here. He had an 8th grade education, never went to high school. He worked on his family's farm. And, I mean, he was like, the hard worker kind of guy, but his main love was construction projects. So there's a quote, and I didn't end up including it in the story because it featured so heavily on the Legacy webpage on the Cordy Company's website, but it went something like, "I'd rather drive nails than eat." So that was his passion. He went to the Korean War for a couple of years. When he came back, he went back to the farm and was basically working the farm to pay rent. But in his free time, he would do construction projects for some of the farmers around. And he wasn't a company man quite yet, but his name and his fame started growing from that. And eventually he did start the Ralph Cordy Construction Company, which became the Cordy Company. Long story short, through that, it brought a whole bunch of businesses into St. Louis and the Metro East area, the Wall Street Journal being one of them. There's the Eaton Corporation. I don't know exactly what they do, but they're a big name. And it's hard to quantify exactly how much business that guy brought in from the initial businesses that he actually literally laid the foundations for, then the ones that followed because there's business here, this is a hot spot, and etc. So really cool life, really cool guy, dedicated to his craft. I believe he was 90 years old when he died, and he was also an SIUE alum. He did do night classes here for 9 years to get his bachelor's eventually.
Wow, that's crazy.
Dedication.
Yeah, so that's his connection to SIUE. Staunch advocate for the school. The construction management program here, I believe, owes itself to him. Cool guy.
Also, to go along with that, I mean, the stadium's wonderful. It's so much fun to be at and watch soccer. So, especially for a soccer school, it's one of our main sports here. So, along with basketball, but yeah.
Did he also make the Cordy Rec Center in Highland?
Yes. Yep. Yeah. That was one of his projects.
I grew up on that.
That's
really?
Cool.
Loved that place. The water park inside, that was awesome.
So this man has made an impact on Destiny.
Oh yeah.
Even here in the booth, his reach is unlimited. Shifting gears a little bit, where the reach is also unlimited in our culture. This is breaking news, not breaking news on the podcast, but breaking news around the world. The Taylor Swift and the Travis Kelce, whoever that is, are getting engaged. You heard it here. They're getting engaged. It's crazy. Like I mentioned earlier, Destiny is a big Taylor Swift fan. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm, very much so.
Okay. What are our thoughts?
So, I don't know if you're familiar with the Tortured Poets Department album.
I mean, I know that it's an album.
Okay.
I know there's songs on it. I don't know them all.
There's 2 songs about him, and they're kind of silly, just a romantic, if a teen were to write it, kind of thing. And so, that's only, I don't know him through football, so that's the only thing I have. And I'm like, you know what? Good for her. Slay, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As someone as a sports fan, I'm not a football fan. So this is coming from someone who doesn't follow football as closely as most. Even though I may be the host of Alestletics with Audrey, it's just not my thing. But, I mean, Kelce seems like a decent guy.
Yeah, I mean, in the songs, he seems cool, and from what she posts and stuff, it seems
I
cool.
like his brother Jason a lot.
Yeah, he's okay. Yeah, I know more about him than I do Travis.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
But no, it's really exciting. I think for me, the big exciting part is such a big announcement. And, they made it very cordial, and I don't want to say quiet because it's not quiet, obviously, but it was reserved for them. I believe it was the Kelce's dad who said it was a couple, what was it, weeks ago, or it was in Missouri.
I don't know.
He said like it wasn't like that day like the post came out.
Yeah.
They had been engaged for a while. This was just the announcement.
Yeah, and that doesn't surprise me.
No,
Taylor would not post on the same day.
Yeah, no, but I like that. Like that's cool too. So, but no, this is taking over the world. I had professors stop class and be like, the professor was like, so can you guys tell me what's going on in the news right now? Like, there's something about someone getting engaged. What's the big deal? She didn't have as much experience with like American culture, like revolving around Taylor Swift. So, no, it was really interesting. I was kind of interested to hear your thoughts on it too, like a Swiftie, because I'm not a Swiftie. I like some of her old songs. They're okay.
Yeah,
to me.
I wouldn't say I'm like a diehard. I mean, I'm a pretty dedicated fan, but I'm not like diehard that I'm gonna know every single like fact about her life. But I do know that she is like a very, I guess, poetic person, you could say, through her music. So it makes sense that like it would be secluded and like all those flowers and like
it was
the
the photos
and,
were beautiful.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it was really cool the
Yeah.
place they were at. I don't know. I think Papa Kelsey apparently said that it was in Missouri, but I'm not quite sure. Like, this is just me reading the headline, so I could have this all wrong. I'm sorry, Swifties. I don't know, but
I mean, I want to visit that place if it was.
it was pretty.
It was beautiful.
But yeah, no, that was really crazy. But that's not the only cultural thing here, folks. This is what I'm most excited to talk about. I'm a small-minded person, I guess. Cracker Barrel, the Cracker Barrel. Have you been?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I love Cracker Barrel.
Okay, I do too.
It's my guilty pleasure, but I feel like I shouldn't be guilty about it. But I
Don't be guilty about it. It's a good restaurant. Well, feel guilty about it now. If you go, you might be shamed,
Yeah.
But so for those that don't know, I don't know how, but Cracker Barrel allegedly was going to change the logo. They had the elder man next to the barrel was going to be gone, and they like changed like the style to be like a simple. It looked kind of like a buckle belt, but very like modernized looking, and just the normal Cracker Barrel font. But they released this image, and the people did not like it. And it didn't matter who you were. Honestly, I don't think I heard one person be like, yes, this is a nice logo. I don't think I heard that ever. And now they are going back. They made the announcement, I think, was it Wednesday or either Tuesday? I can't remember. But they're like, the day after they put out a statement that they're listening to their audience, they put out another statement. We are not going forward with the changes. So they got bullied by the American consumer and everyone to change their logo. And I think it's funny. I think it's a cultural moment here in the United States.
Power of the people.
Power of the people.
Man.
Really, I mean, like, people, and their stocks dropped. Even their stocks dropped. Like, that to me is just crazy. And I brought this up to my dad, and he goes, this is so dumb. He thinks it's so dumb. But I'm like, no, Dad, this is great. It's like the consumer has control, No, I think it's really interesting, and maybe I'll go back to Cracker Barrel now. I was going to go on a strike, but I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, people were scared they were going to get rid of the rocking chairs on the outside of the building.
Legitimately. Well, I don't know if you saw, but they had like pictures. So along with the rebranded logo, they were going to rebrand the interior. And the ones that I saw, again, I don't know if this was someone like just trolling them or not, but the ones that I saw, there was like a modern version of Cracker Barrel. So it kind of took the country charm out, and like the store was different looking. I don't know. It didn't look like Cracker Barrel.
Yeah,
It's
isn't
like-
that the whole point?
Yeah, change for the sake of change. It's like, it's
Exactly.
not necessary. Have you seen those photos of like McDonald's 20 years ago
Yes,
versus McDonald's today?
But this is what we were talking about in the office. Like the difference for me between McDonald's is like it was very child centered, and they modernized over time. It wasn't like an airdrop of hey, we're changing everything. Like
True.
it was developed and it was curated. And whether you like it now or not, but you're kind of like adjusted to it, you're forced to. But this was like a radical change. They're like, no more old man in rocking chair and barrel. Like we're changing everything, and no one liked that. I'm a person who doesn't like change though, so maybe I find this really entertaining.
Can I ask, did you see the stuff about Walmart?
No, what did Walmart do?
If you look at the old logo versus the one they just updated, they're basically the exact same, just the colors are slightly
Yes.
different, darker.
You know what? I have seen
and they
something
spent like
millions
or something.
Very Walmart thing to do.
Sounds like a certain university too, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does sound like
Yeah.
No, it made me. What my favorite thing is, Steak and Shake has been tweeting at like all the restaurants are like trolling Cracker Barrel too. And this is my new life, is watching one restaurant troll another restaurant, and it never gets old. It really doesn't. And this is what keeps me, someone who has to follow with like the cultural norms, and be like, oh my gosh, really? This is what we're down to? I did see another one. It was a company like actually there's a TikToker who goes in and like goofy like she's like I'm gonna redesign this company's logo and then does it like goofy with like her.
I have seen her.
She's like followed by I can't remember, is it Amazon? I don't know, one of like the major companies, and it might be it's Microsoft. Microsoft follows her back because she literally stuck her face on the Microsoft logo and said, this is what they should do. And they commented, you're right. And they for a day, they had like her face on as their profile picture.
That's crazy.
Like that is, to me, but that's really good marketing and PR. Like it's really interesting.
It's just funny too.
It's funny. Yeah. It draws you in, you know. I love that. It's really interesting. So we'll see. Maybe Cracker Barrel, they might change their mind. Like they're kind of on like a 3-day of, we don't know what we're going to do.
I mean, if Wendy's claps back at them, then they're probably gonna go back because Wendy's is mean. Have you seen them on Twitter?
Wendy's is mean. They're like one of the big dogs.
Yeah.
You know?
I just assumed when I saw like restaurant tweets like that, and this isn't limited to Cracker Barrel. This has been years. I'm like, oh, that's like clearly fake, right? Because I don't have Twitter or anything. I'm on social media, but I'm not like chronically on social media. But it's like a revelation that these are real things.
So it's funny you say that. As you may know, I'm a huge NHL fan. This is like my life. And the NHL tweeted out the other day, it was a picture of a Tate McRae concert.
Oh my
and
God.
she said, the post was, they don't know I'm the NHL social media manager, but here I am watching Tate McRae at Tate McRae.
Oh my God.
And it was posted on the NHL social media, like as the NHL.
Uh-huh.
And the first comment, Tate McRae. Well, she's a big hockey fan too, so it makes sense.
Isn't she Canadian?
Yes, I think
feel
she
like
is.
she is.
I think she is Canadian, but she's a hockey fan. I know that for sure. But she responded immediately and was like, "This is hilarious. I need to know who you are." You know, but it's funny. Like these social media managers are just like doing whatever they want. Or I mean, they're not. It's definitely approved, but like, I love it. I eat it up. So
I don't know if you've seen. Sorry, one more thing. I don't know if you've seen. If you were to go to Mizzou from here, they have Buc-ee's like huge signs on the way there, and it says like "Slay" or "Come check out Buc-ee's." Come on, you want to, girl boss. And it's just like, who is on that they're doing?
Who approved that? But it's genius. Maybe for the promo for the podcast this week, I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna change the Alestle. By the way, the Alestle After Hours logo is like new coming into the summer. Maybe I'll modernize it. Just make it look like the
really
make it look like the Cracker Barrel.
I might fire you.
Oh.
I'm kidding.
But it would be funny. No, okay.
It would be.
Okay, well,
Maybe for April Fools.
yeah. Or this episode, I could get away with.
Yeah.
All right, Destiny, this is everyone's favorite part. This has stayed tradition for a long time to conclude Alestle After Hours. At the end of each episode, we go around and we talk about our obsession of the last week or the last few weeks, whatever. So, for example, you'll see on the paper I have in front of you, I wrote the new Blues jerseys released this week. That is technically my obsession because I have to debate if it's worth paying to get a new one when I have so many already. But they are really clean. And this should be an this should be an Alestletics topic, but
I'm sure it'll come up.
It probably will. The new Blues jerseys, they're cool.
I haven't seen them. I'm interested.
They're
I'm a
like,
Blues fan too, so.
You're my new favorite person. You're allowed on the podcast every week. They're like the old 1967 version, but they're like, instead of the cream for the away, it's white. So it's like an all white. It's really, it's so clean. The only bad part about it, like my only critique, is the numbers on the back. They don't have an outline, so it's like just solid yellow.
Oh.
It looks like a sticker. That's just what I've seen. And I kind of agree with the general audience, but I'll get over it. And I'll buy a blank, so that way I don't have to look at it like that.
Yeah.
But let's see. I'll throw it over to you, Destiny. If you need a minute to think, maybe I can get Dylan.
Oh, yeah, I didn't brief her on this part.
Yeah,
I already know.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I mean, obviously, Taylor's new album coming out.
Oh,
So,
okay.
yeah.
That's fair.
The pictures are like so great. I love them.
Yeah. Well, so yours kind of ties into the cultural swing of things.
Yeah.
Maybe my obsession should be the Cracker Barrel thing, because that's kind of true. When I like talked about it in the office for like 20 minutes before we came here. So, but no, that's fair. That's a good obsession. All right, Dylan, how about you?
All right. Sam knows about this already because I texted you when it happened.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So this was completely unexpected. So my cousin who lives in St. Louis, he's got one of those jobs that like you work 3 days a week and get all these insane benefits. His wife does as well. She works at Purina. And Purina gave them free Cardinals tickets. And they were club tickets, which I didn't know existed. I've never been in one of those. So I think he said club tickets, and that kind of went over my head. But he was like, yeah, there's like free food, free alcohol, all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, oh, that sounds kind of fun. And I ended up going. We missed the first half of the game because I had, a student government meeting, actually. But me and my fiance Van went. And it was our first Cardinals game together, believe it or not. We've been together for almost 3 years and haven't had the time to go to one yet. So it was big for us, too, as a couple. But we got there, and we were both excited, but, like, we didn't know what we were in for. On the way there, I was like, how are they going to know that, like, we have the tickets that, get free food? Like, is there a barcode that we show the vendors and all that? And so we got there, and we were asking for directions because the section number wasn't on the signs. And she was like, yeah, you'll go up that escalator and, you'll scan in and everything. I was like, scan in? Okay. So
Fancy.
We got there and I was like, oh, this is not just the plastic red seats. This is like a whole restaurant.
A suite.
Yeah. I was like, what is this? So I was like, oh my God, we're rich for a night.
Yeah.
Definitely over 8. But it was so cool. Had a really good view of the game. It was a good game too. 2 bats broke. There was a fight. And Cardinals saved the game with a home run.
Yeah, the
against the
walk-off.
Pirates.
Now, was that the game that Contreras got in the fight? Did he,
I think so, yeah.
That he threw? Oh, my
Yeah.
gosh. I am wearing, you can't see it, but I'm wearing a Contreras jersey right now. And that was an epic
It
game.
was a good game, yeah.
Alestletics just takes over Alestle After Hours sometimes.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, everyone. But, no, that was a really good game.
Yeah.
They also said, no, that wasn't the lowest attendance one.
It was pretty low attendance. There were whole empty sections.
Yeah. The Cardinals struggling. We won't talk about the Cardinals.
Haven't they been struggling?
Yeah. We won't talk about
For
it.
like years.
We won't talk about it. But don't worry, we won't have to talk about the Cardinals because next week on Saturday, you can hear all about SIUE returning to sports action on Alestletics, joined by me and Audrey O'Rennick. So tune into that next week. If you haven't, please go pick up a paper from this week's edition of The Alestle. And if you're looking for more Alestle After Hours content, you'll have to wait about 3 weeks when we come back on a new publication day. Welcome back, everyone, to the fall semester. It's crazy. We're already back here, but we will get through it together, especially on this podcast. I'd like to thank Dylan and Destiny for joining me, and we will see you again in 3 weeks.